there's noises all around my room. My house is quiet all day long until I go live. And all of a sudden, everybody's got to make noise.
Yep, of course. That's the way it is. That's the way it is.
I'm so glad I moved to the country for peace and quiet.
Because it's so worth it.
My house was much quieter in a condo.
That's amazing. You wouldn't think that. But it's probably because your walls were insulated better because they knew you were having adjoining walls. Whereas in a house, you don't have any adjoining walls with someone else. It's your house. It's all, that might be part of the reason.
Yeah. Oh.
So I know we missed the call last week and that was my fault. I was sicky with the flu. No, it was not COVID. No, it was not COVID.
I understand. Well, yeah, COVID wasn't real anyway, but that's my big.
Yeah, that's beside the point. We're not even going to go in there. But
go there because we'll get banned again.
It was just the flu, a very, 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 very bad flu, 24-hour bad flu.
So was COVID, but anyway.
Bleepity bleep, 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 bleep.
Okay, we're back.
Just saying. But I was sicky. Haven't been sick that 2.5 years it's been since I've had that bad of flu. And not even then. It was bad.
I get little sicknesses all the time, all right? And I battle them, whatever it is. I battle them. And, you know what I mean? I'll say to people, I'm sorry, I can't come to whatever it is today because I'm not going to go there if I'm sick, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's always bit I don't want to pass it, right? That's my biggest thing. But people are like, my mom used to, my mom and my wife, you're sick all the time. No, I'm not. It's a blip.
Yeah.
Like I can count on one hand how many times I've been sick that I didn't come to my office to work.
Oh, same here. And I didn't eat for 3 days. 3 days I didn't eat. I couldn't. I lost weight. That is not the way I recommend you lose weight, but not the way I recommend it.
Do I look fat in the sickness or not?
Absolutely not. You're very thin. You look fantabulous.
So my friend Renee,
if you're here for the first time, welcome to the Business G-Spot podcast. I'm Katrina Garcia, and this is my counterpart over here.
Yeah. So, and the reason I was about to say that is my friend Lene at my networking thing today is like, you got a podcast today? It's like, yes, the Business G-Spot. She's not laughing.
Where we always hope you find your G-Spot in business. Just saying.
Anyway, when you go for a cool name, just people wonder who the hell you are and what the hell you're talking about. Anyway.
Yep. So you had something you wanted to talk about today.
So yeah, I think I want to relate this to business because it really did. It affected me. It affected my day yesterday. Like major affected my day. And like as a grown man in his 50s, you wouldn't think this stuff would bother you, but it did.
Yeah.
All right. And truthfully, I did what was part of the job I signed up for when I did this. Was, as most of you know, my wife and I, we got chickens. We're raising little chicks up to be chickens and have like a small mini farm with vegetables and chickens. And we don't have lions and tigers and bears yet, but maybe we will. We'll know. We'll see. We'll turn it into a zoo. Yeah. Anyway, we have our chickens. We got in the first batch, we got these 4 brown ones who we knew were all hens, and 2 that could be male, could be female, kind of multicolored black and whites. Then our second batch, we went in and we got them at Tractor Supply. We got 2 white hens, 2 black hens, and 2 multicolors, could be male, could be female.
Female, yeah.
Well, the second batch, they were in the office, and it was like within a matter of like a week and a half, the white hens were jumping up on top of the box to get out. So we had to move them to the big pen. One of the white ones yesterday, I had to rush out. All right, I was going down to this event my friend's putting on, and I gotta go check on my chickens. I gotta make sure they have food and water real quick. So I go out real quick and I grab the food container and I went to the last store to grab the food container. One of the white ones out of the case right away. And he's just gutsy, me trying to get him back in. I'm like, crap, I gotta go. I got things I gotta do. I gotta take off. It's an hour drive, and I should have left 20 minutes ago, right?
Yeah.
So I'm chasing him around the yard before I go get the food. And my brother, after this happened, my brother said, why don't you just get the worms? And because if you put the worms down, they'll come right to your hand. And then you just grab them. Instead, I follow around a section of the yard. I'm trying to get her back in because I don't want to leave her loose because I'm afraid of big birds in the air.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. Well, he runs, and I get her cornered at a fence, at our house fence, at the edge of the property. And she runs into a screw or something sharp at the edge. I don't know what it was.
Poor thing.
It burst its eye.
Oh.
It burst its eye, and it's. I don't want to go into grabbing into it, but I seen blood.
Oh.
I seen blood. At first, I didn't see the blood. I was just trying to pick her up because she started flapping. And I tried to pick her up, and then I was able to pick her up, and that's when I seen the blood.
Oh.
And that's where it hit me. Oh my God! I'm gonna have to. I have to put this chicken down. I can't. There's no better way to heal. It's not going to heal from this. A baby chick is not going to heal from this. It's only going to get worse. And you have to do the humane thing is you just have to put it down. That hurt. That really hurt. I mean, just I thought about it.
And that's rough. I mean, you're essentially taking a living thing. And taking its life.
Yeah.
And I know you're doing it for the best. I mean, we do it for our dogs.
Yeah.
Where we get to that point where they're either sick or they can't see, they can't do anything, and they're just. I mean, we do that for our pets. Mm-hmm. We don't necessarily do that. We take it to the vet.
To do it.
It's something that is part of nature. It's part of what we have to deal with as pet owners.
Yeah. But I mean, let's relate this to business. I made the wise business decision. All right, that not to prolong its pain,
suffering.
Yeah, and suffering. That's the business part of it. And like in business, there's all the time you got to make decisions, right? And too often we get caught up in the emotion. As you heard, it's emotional for me to still think about that.
Yeah, that's rough to do.
But that's where we all fail in business is we get caught up in the emotion of doing the tasks that have to be done. Instead of doing the task. Is it going to hurt? Let me put it to you this way. Fuck yeah, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's business. You got in business, you have to do the business things to make the business work and not get caught up in the emotions of how the job hurts.
That's like similar to if you attain that to Shark Tank.
Yeah.
You will see these people go on the show. Mm-hmm. And they're telling them, okay, I'll give you this much for 20% of the company.
Yeah.
They are so attached to that company and their mindset. No, you can't have 25%. But I'm giving you this much money. I'm not just giving it to you. It's a business. Oh, yeah. No, this is my baby. You can't have any of it. Just give me the money. But that's part of business. If you're going to have an investor, they're going to get a portion of that business, whether that be 10%, 20%, depending on what you decide on. But part of that, though, too, is that you have to make that decision. You're going to make people dizzy. You're going to make that decision. And sometimes it's really hard for them to let go of that, even if it's in the best interest of the business.
That's it. I mean, and I probably that's the great analogy. That's the greatest way to put this and make people understand it. Because I've sat and watched Shark Tank how many times and realizing he's asking for 22% of your business and he's going to give you 250% more value than you have.
I know. I mean, it's better to have this much instead of this much. It's just, but that's their
100% of nothing is still nothing.
I understand that. But like you said, the emotions get involved. That's their baby. They don't want anybody to have a little piece of that. I mean, they're willing to take the money, but you can't have any. No, you can't have any say or any. No. Can't do that. So the emotions start to get the best of them. And some of them walk away saying, well, we'll just keep trudging forward.
It goes back to which movie was that back into the 70s? Hey, it's not personal. It's not personal. It's business. It's business. It's not personal.
Yeah.
That's where we don't separate our businesses from our life. And I think, the purpose behind you and I doing this podcast was talking to you guys, people, well, what's the business of why you're doing this? You know what I mean? So often you get caught up in making the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
And you're going to all the right places to make the right decisions, but yet you're still making the wrong decisions. You know, it's like you and I were talking today. I have had, in the past year, probably a dozen or so people from other mastermind groups, whatever, approaching me for help. And yes, I want to reach out. I want to help them, right? But sometimes we give them the advice, okay, Katrina, you need to go do this. All right. And it's exactly what the side you brought up of it. And what do they do when I say, Katrina, you need to go do this? What do they do?
No, I don't know how to do that. I don't have the money to do that. Wait, I barely have money to make my rent. What? I can't do that. Wait, what is that? That I'm supposed to know. I can't.
No. I can't afford. And you're in my case. I can't afford $1,000, $3,000 for a website. Well, dude, then you don't belong in business. All right. I started a company March 21st. All right, and added $10,000 worth of freaking debt to my life.
And we all do that. We all do that. You've got to spend money to make money.
Yeah. But I don't look at it like I spent money. All right. I look at it like this was an investment. Right? I'm investing into the growth of this business, and I need this tool to make that happen to the best of my knowledge. And I can't tell you, I've had conversation in this business. I've had conversation with Larry Broughton, who we both know. Great business leader. And Larry gave me some honest feedback. Craig Duswald had great conversation with Craig Duswald about it. Craig gave me some great advice. All right. Because I was going into websites, right? I got some advice from you on websites, right? So I did the analysis and you tell me this, Tim, you're going to need this and this and this to make it work. Craig goes, you need this and this to make it work. My accountant, you're going to need to keep books on this. Everybody give me a list. This is what you need. I cannot imagine someone saying, oh, well, let's just put Larry Broughton. He's probably the most successful on that list, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine Larry Broughton saying, Tim, you need to invest $400 in this tool over here to make that work. And me going, Larry, I can't afford that. I realize my Mercedes payment is $500 a month, but I can't afford $400 for a damn business. And that's what people are doing, right?
Well, and there's two sides to that coin.
Yeah.
One side in regards to the cost of it, but there's also the other side where there are people out there that are taking, like you said, mastermind classes, coaching classes, training to learn more about business and how to put things in place. However, the caveat is that some of the things that they're asking them to do in regards to action items, they're either, number one, they're not doing it, or number two, they don't know how. They don't know where to begin. No. So, and I think that's the hardest part that I have, is that you've got people out there being told, okay, let's say, okay, Tim, you need to get a landing page together, you get to get a lead magnet together, you need to get your CRM together, and you need to get that all done within the next month so that by the time we talk again, it should all be done, right? Mm-hmm. And you're looking at me going, okay, I don't know what a landing page is. I don't know what a lead magnet is. What is a CRM that I'm supposed to do? And where do I go to? Most people that start businesses are not tech savvy. They just aren't. But as we know, it takes technology to get your business moving forward and going. I've always been a techie person anyway, so I built it all myself. I didn't have to go to other people because I already knew how to do it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to do this. And I think this is the hardest part that a lot of entrepreneurs really struggle with. Not just the money side, but how do I do it? I don't even know what you're talking about. Well, where do I go to get the resources? Where do I go to? And a lot of times, those people that are teaching them have resources that they can push them to, but sometimes I think they're either too much or they're not enough that they understand, well, I guess I signed up for this, but I'm not sure if I need it or not. I've been paying for it. And
I had that in the beginning when I first got one shopping cart. Again, I didn't understand how it worked, but I was told I needed it and why I needed it. So I knew that. I knew why I was getting it because I needed to build a list. That's the number one thing I knew. I had to figure out how it worked to get people to join the list. I had to figure that out, and that's the first thing I went and figured out. But the one thing I didn't know how it worked was getting the credit card services to connected to it. And I clicked buttons when they said, you got to have, and I clicked buttons, and I was paying for what they call the credit card services. I can't remember. I use Barbara Limbacher or Barbara
merchant services.
Barbara, huh?
They're merchant services.
Merchant services. I use Barbara Cunningham now.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I had bought a merchant service and I didn't know it. And I'm 10 months into it, not knowing where and I'm like, wait, I'm looking at my bank account. I'm like, what's this bill? What's this $10 coming out for every month, right? And so I finally researched the number. And I called down. They go, yes, you have a business, you have a thing with us, and we're not processing anything through it. And I'm like, what? I could have just been putting this down for people to buy, and it would have gone right into my account. And everything is, yeah, you could have for the past 10 months. And I'm like, I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I didn't sit there and say, okay, well, you need to give me 10 months money back. No. I went, okay, can you tell me how to make this work so I can try to make money to compensate for the $100 I paid you, right? Sure. 10 seconds, we had it working, right? And then they go, you know what? Because you didn't know this was working, and we apologize that we weren't better at communicating it, we're going to give you 2 months free. And I'm like, I'm not
very, very, very nice.
I'm not asking for it, but thank you, right?
Yeah, that's very nice.
It was on me because I didn't follow through. Well, this is what I see people doing with, like the CRMs now, right? I use Kartra, all right? You're using Go High Level. And I see people who go by Go High Level, Kajabi, Keep, Kartra, and they don't know how to run it. They don't. They have no clue how to run it. And then you come up with, you just put that through your CRM, put it through your Kartra, put it through your Go High Level, all right? You need to create a funnel with that right away. How do I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if you don't know how to do that, great. You've got the tool that can go make you money anytime you want, and you don't know how to make it work. So then I go, look, I had a person, and I'm not going to say what one she was using. And she said, well, can you set that up for me in mine? I'm like, do you have Kartra? And she goes, no. I says, I don't know yours. I'm going Kartra. If you had Kartra, I'm going to have that set up for you in 10 minutes. But because you are not in Kartra, you went to this other one because you thought it was better for you. And I'm not going to say what it is, but better for you. And you don't know how to use it.
Yeah. And let me clarify something. When I say CRM, because a lot of people don't even know what that term means. Yeah. It's a client resource management platform. And all that essentially is you are getting names, email addresses, phone numbers, and you're pulling that all into your system so that you can finesse that list by sending them emails saying about your special coming up or a freebie you've got or whatever the case may be. That's when we talk about a CRM, that's what we're talking about. A client resource management platform for those people that are watching and don't know.
And if you don't have a budget to get started, there's ones like SendGrid or MailChimp.
MailChimp is cheap.
MailChimp, yeah. You can start out. All right, they're a great place to start.
HubSpot is free. HubSpot doesn't cost anything. It's free.
Free, really?
HubSpot is free. In fact, that's how they get people in. Is they allow you to utilize their CRM, and it's very robust, but it's free. But if you want any of their other things, then of course it's going to cost money. But at least you have a CRM.
Well, so no, in my opinion, if you can't afford it, take one of the free ones and start building your list.
Yep.
All right, and you start building your list, and you start engaging with your list on a regular basis. This is Tim's business idea. All right, engage with them on a regular basis. When you can afford it, then you move up to something like you're in Go High Level. I'm in Kartra. You move to one of them. You don't have to transfer your list over, you know what I mean? Because that's a headache in itself and can cost you if you do it wrong.
You attach the two so they can talk together.
Right. You can make the two talk, but you actually can now send an email out to your list offering them something in the Kartra, Go High Level that they can opt in and get for free. Hey, I'm going to be offering this new program, but I'll tell you what, for the next 90 days or for the next 19 days, for the next 10 days, I'm going to offer it to you, those early people who came with me early on. I'm going to offer it to you for free.
Yeah.
All right. And everybody's like, well, I don't want to give it away for free. It's a $100 product. Yes, but if you can get them to move from one platform to the other, and now you see that you have let's say you have 200 people on MailChimp, and now you got this whole thing, and you got 198 people join your Kartra or Go High Level when you move to it.
Yep.
Do you need MailChimp anymore?
Nope.
Nope. You just found a way to transfer your list over without having to force them. But if you didn't have that to begin with, didn't have that list on MailChimp to begin with, when it came time to build your business and move it to Go High Level or Kartra, you would not have the money or you not have the resources to move it.
No. And there's a lot of free resources out there for brand new business owners. There really is. And they're the DIYs, the do it yourself. Mm-hmm. And if you're not sure how to start, or you don't have the funds to have somebody help you with it, and you want to learn how to do it, that's where you start. And those are your Squarespace, your Wix, and your Weebly. And I would recommend, if you're going to go with one of those, you go with Squarespace, because it has more bang for your buck, so to speak. But either way, I think this is the biggest headache and issue for our entrepreneurs is they're told to do something. They just don't know what it is or how to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what stalls them more than anything, is they're just like, where do I begin? Especially if you're a brand new entrepreneur and you're just starting out, you're trying to figure this all out. I mean, even if you hire on a college student, it's still better than, in some respects, you wasting a lot of time and effort learning how to do it. Yeah. However, I still recommend that you at least know enough about it so that you know, number one, if it's the right tool for you or not. And number two, if you're in this and so forth, now you know whether you're wasting your time and effort. And these are things that you need to know as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. You know, and one of the things that I did, because I was telling people I created the website company because of the fact that I seen the people with the 1 and 2 person, maybe 3 to 4 employee mom and pop shops. They don't have time to run their CRM. And I basically can run it for them. However, I always run through and educate them. This is how things work. This is how things work. This is how things work. Because I want you to understand it. Have a basic knowledge of it. Because there may come a day that you go, hey, wait a minute, I can finally run this. Great. If we have that CRM, I got it for you at a discount. Trust me, that you can be in there and we can still run your website and you can start to do some of this stuff yourself. And that's what I want. I want people to be able to tap into their own website and go, you know, I really don't want it to say KG website design. I want it to say KG designs. Right? And they can go in and change the name themselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
And think about the power that's going to give you as an entrepreneur, that you've had somebody set it all up for you, show you how to deal with it and show you how to do it. Mm-hmm. Now you get to do it yourself. And it's so easy because it's set up. The hardest part, of course, with anything is setting it up the first time. That's always the hardest part. You have to figure it out. You have to educate yourself on it. You have to put all the information in it and so on and so forth. But if you have someone else who does it for you and then they hand it off, it makes it that much easier. And I know Tim works with Kartra. We work with Go High Level. And Go High Level does the same thing as Kartra does. Mm-hmm. And we try and show our clients to do the same thing. Because the thing is as an entrepreneur, you have enough to deal with. Why not make it as easy as possible for you as a business owner? Because that's what's going to make you the most profitable. I mean, why are you wasting time on things like we've talked about here before that not are in your wheelhouse? It's a waste of time.
Keeping my books is not my wheelhouse. It's not. No. I pay Joe DeChar to do my books for me, right? Does not mean I don't keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Right? But Joe keeps me organized. So when it comes time to do taxes, Joe already has it filed out. All right, because he's filed it out, he goes, well, Tim, I can do your taxes. Your business is this much and your personal is this much. Would you like me to do that? Yes.
Yeah.
It's so much easier now for me to have Joe go do it because he's kept it in line for me all year long. Gwen and I used to, like, you know, it was like that section between January, all right, and April. Like, she would sit on the couch. Okay, you know, April of last year, all right, the 22nd at 4 p.m. Do you remember what this charge is for $22.95? No
No idea.
I have no clue. Right?
No clue. I knew it had to do with business because I put business on there.
It was paid with fraud on my business account, so I'm sure it's
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
What is this charge for $64.10 on Amazon? Do you know? No, but give me
No idea.
And I have to sit there and with my laptop and look it up.
Yeah.
Every time.
Which just takes a lot of time and I have a tax accountant as well. It's not Joe Teixeira, but I have a tax accountant as well, and she takes care of all of that for me. I don't have to worry about it. I just give her I put everything online through QuickBooks. She goes on, she gets it all. I do my profit and loss and my balance statement, send it off, boom, done.
Are you using Debbie?
No.
Okay, you know Debbie, right? Yeah.
Yes, I'm using actually somebody that my husband recommended to him, and she's actually in California, and she's doing her taxes out in New Mexico.
Well, no, I love Debbie. I can't afford Debbie's prices.
Yeah, but I mean, and the thing is that's all part of it. That's all part of it too. Is that when you're moving forward with a business, you have to decide where you're going to spend your money, where are you going to spend your time. Those are the two biggest things when it comes to being an entrepreneur: your money and your time. And I know as entrepreneurs, I've done it in the past too. If we had somebody that came in and said, okay, I did an analysis on your business, and this is how much money you're leaving on the table because you're not doing this, and you haven't got this set up, or you haven't done this, or you haven't done this, look at all the money you left on the table for 10 months.
Yeah, well, didn't know. So.
But and I think that's the biggest thing is you just don't know what you don't know. That's the hardest part.
Well, in the beginning, you need to spend more time in the marketing aspect than you do in the bookkeeping aspect.
Of course. You've got to get the word out. And the best way to do that is networking face to face.
Yeah.
Because now you're talking to people face to face, you're getting to know them, they're getting to know you. But you still have to have systems in place with all those cards you're getting. What are you going to do? Just put them in a pile and
I got this newest thing with Ken Walls. You were there. I think you were there when Ken Walls created it. I'm not sure if you were in the room or not. But basically, when Ken offered it to Craig, and it's all on the phone.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. And now, I'm at the networking thing this morning, and I do this, and someone says, "Well, do I have to go through your calendar?" I says, this on the phone is a way around it. But one of the reasons I do that is it puts you into the CRM with my system. So now I get to track everything we do together. All right. That's one of the reasons why I do that is now I get to track our entire relationship. I said, that's just how I do it with business. He goes, that's pretty smart. I'm like, yeah, it is.
Well, and I don't think I know people still have business cards.
Okay. I want to bring this one up here.
Since the early 90s. Just say it.
Oh no, I have a relative who refuses to do taxes. 99% of what he does is cash.
Wow. Well, and here's the thing too, as a business owner, and I had this with an old tax accountant. He refused to take credit cards.
Yeah.
He would only take checks, and he would only take cash, but he charged quite a bit of money. So I told him, I said, why don't you take credit cards? And he said, oh, because of the fees. I said, well, you add the fees to your bottom, you add those fees so that the people are paying for those fees and you're not losing any money. Oh, they're just a pain in the ass. Do you know that in 1 month's time, he lost 15 people because he would not accept credit cards?
Yeah.
Yes, they're fees, but you can still charge the fees back to your client and you're not losing anything.
Well, yeah, and I forget where I was last week that we did a whole talk on that. The person did a talk on that, you know what I mean? Incorporating that fee into your business price. So say it's $75 and the 3% you got to put on there or whatever it is. Why not make the product $79? All right. Now it incorporates your fees and you have a little extra to go.
Yep.
Basically, if you round things up to that and you include it, people now are like, okay, they don't even question it, right? I mean, I go, so the massage place, this massage therapist I use, they have credit cards, but they charge you the 3% on top of it. I'm like, I keep telling them, I just raise your prices a couple bucks and put it in the cost.
Yeah, so it's across the board.
Well, yeah, then most people pay cash though. I'm like, so it's a bonus when they pay cash.
Yeah.
Just raise and it's not a lot of money. It's a couple dollars. You'd have to raise it to cover the cost.
Yeah. I just think the easier you make it for your clients to do business with you, the more clients are going to do business with you.
You need to make the path of, I've said this, you make the path from the client of getting the money to you. You need to make that the simplest, easiest process out there.
Yep.
Once you've got that down for the client to get money to you, everything else is going to flow into place. You complicate the process of them getting money to you because you want to save a buck.
Not worth it.
Kicking yourself in the teeth, ladies and gentlemen.
Not
in the teeth.
Not worth it for the client that you just lost.
Yeah. Always make it easier for them. All right. Yep. And I think we would get back to more people would have less problems. All right. Being able to afford the stuff their coaches tell them to do if they found more ways to make money.
Okay. So I have a question for you.
Sure.
What was your first? I know you were talking about your payment that you had through shopping cart and you went through Barbara. Was that your first merchant account that you had set up, or were you using PayPal or Stripe or any of those other ones?
I used PayPal and Stripe in the early days for almost everything. And then when I set up in 2013, that would have been 2010 to 2013. 2013 is when I set up with one shopping cart. And that is when I went to, I got the credit card processing. I didn't start using it until almost 2014 before I started using the credit cards coming through there.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people will even use Venmo. Venmo.
Venmo, Zelle. Yeah, this is what Barbara was telling me. Yeah, I had this talk with Barbara just the other day because I had my call with Barbara on my stuff. And she says, like, paying affiliates. So, like, right now, I'm paying my affiliates through, like, PayPal. And she says she does all of hers in Zelle. There's no fees. She goes to her bank. She would Chase, and it's free to send them right out of Chase and send the.
But here's the thing, though. Sometimes with Zelle or with cash, some banks will not accept some of those apps. It depends on your bank.
I know. That's why I said it. Like I get somebody to actually connect their Zelle because I use Zelle. And to me this is the flip now. You have sold my product. I'm paying you your commission. And if I tell you, well, this is how we pay on PayPal, we pay on Zelle or we pay on check. Do you care how I get the money to you because I'm paying you?
Yeah.
Would you adapt if I said, well, you need to accept it on Zelle?
Well, here's the thing, though. If my bank will accept Zelle, I can't get the money out of Zelle.
I think if someone was sending me a couple $100 a month on affiliate money, I would find a way to make it work. I'm just saying.
Oh, I understand that, but there are apps out there when it comes to that banks are very cautious of because there have been security breaches or security issues.
Yes,
so there are some banks, no matter how much you want to work around it.
Yeah, but Zelle and Venmo are owned by banks.
Yeah, I know.
PayPal is not.
I understand that. But it just depends.
Screw you over faster than your own bank can.
But this is something that is another thing that stops entrepreneurs when they sit down and they figure out, well, how am I going to take money? And then they find out that their bank doesn't take this or their bank doesn't take that. Then it stops.
Again, there's things that my bank wouldn't take, and I found a way around it. In other words, first of all, if you only have one bank account, you're really not in business. Step one. If you only have one bank account, you're really not in business. Right? I can't think of how many different credit cards and bank accounts I have now. And I remember in 2009 when I started this out going, well, I don't want to be that complicated. Now I wish I could go back to 2009 with the bank account.
Not be so complicated.
3 business accounts, two personal accounts, all right. 6 dozen credit cards, it's like, man, I want to go back to simple. I can't, right? But that's it. That's the reason why there's always a workaround, right?
Well, I always tell my clients the workaround for my clients is that either they go with authorized.net, which Barbara does,
Yeah.
Because authorized.net accepts everything.
Yeah.
Or they go through Stripe because Stripe accepts everything.
Well, it's not just that. It's I'm not talking about that side of it, all right? That's them paying me. I can control how they pay me. Doesn't matter to me. I don't have PayPal set up for my cart and Kartra because PayPal cannot do recurring payments.
They're getting there. They're getting there. They're working on it, but they're getting there.
That's why I have Barbara, because that'll take recurring payments, which 99% of my clientele have recurring payments.
Yeah, and Stripe will do the same thing. They'll
Stripe
take
will do it as well. Too. But the headaches is most people are having, well, you know what I mean? I want my affiliate money paid this way. Dude, if I'm paying you because your commission, it's just like my boss. If I'm working a job and they say, we write you a check on Fridays, right? I don't go to my boss and say, well, I don't accept checks on Fridays. I only accept checks on Saturday mornings. The boss is going to go, well, hey, let us help you find another job because
exactly. This is how we pay. So
this is how we pay.
Sorry. That's how it goes.
This is how we pay.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where I'm learning PayPal.
And that's another thing too with your invoicing is when you've got your invoicing set up, a lot of times you have to you want to note on there when the payment is expected.
Yeah.
Is it expected at the time of receipt? So that as soon as they got that invoice, that's when the payment's accepted? Is it accepted a week after, 2 weeks after, 30 day? Whatever the case may be, that's something you have to think about too as a business owner is, okay, I've set this up. I've either got Stripe, authorized.net, whatever. And now I've got to get something in place so that I can do my invoicing, which you can do in both of those. So now what do I do? Do I accept it upon receipt? Do I give them 2 weeks to pay me? And what's my follow-up if they don't pay? I mean, those are things you have to think about.
That's why, all right, there's a certain day of the month that my system goes, bam, charge your card. Bam, charge your card.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about invoicing because mine is all automated with the credit card system. And
however,
and those people complaining about the 3% right there, I just took your worry about 3% off because I get my money every month.
However, if you've got a credit card that has now expired or is no longer good, now you have to go and figure all that out. So those are things part of being a business.
Well, usually they correct it right about the time that they go and, hey, or they give me a call. Hey, my website's not working. How come? It's because your credit card didn't go through.
Yep.
As soon as you get your credit card to go through again, we'll put that website right back up.
Mm-hmm. And that's something you have to remember when you have a webmaster or somebody who's handling your website. Guess what? It's not free. They're paying for the hosting to host your website and have a place for it to be. Mm-hmm. They're paying for all the back end stuff for you. It's not free. And so when you come across and say, why are you charging me for these things?
Hello.
I'm not expecting you to work for free. Are you expecting me to work for free?
Well, my catch also is the fact that almost all their websites is tied to their email address.
Yeah. Well, and on top of that,
block that and shut that down real quick. Watch how fast they make a phone call to pay you.
Yeah. Yep. Because as a webmaster, when you're on that hosting piece, all you have to do is say, take it down for a little bit or suspend it for a little bit until you get payment. Mm-hmm. And now they, like you said, they have no website, they have no email, and they're calling and panicking. Why is my website down? Because your payment didn't go through. Mm-hmm. All right, I'll get it to you. Hold on, I'll get it to you. Just give me a chance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's things you have to think about those as a business owner as well. Is everything up to date? And like Tim said, you have to put money out there to make money. And even if that means you get a small loan or you get a credit card and you just put things on that credit card and pay it each month, there's all kinds of ways of doing it.
You need to be, if you have a business, you need to eventually, you're going to start with credit cards. You're going to start with personal cards.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman that I'm going to be working with here who works on building your business credit line up. And he talks about these little things of getting a credit card in your company's name. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's just like, there's little things, paying utility bills in your company's name. Those things, when you do it on a regular basis, builds the credit up for that. I remember James Malinchak, I'm sorry, I'm going to shoot you out on this one. James Malinchak said one time at a thing I was at, he said, Well, I can't get a mortgage because of the fact I'm self-employed and I have a hard time getting the stuff up to it. He says, I got the money. And I said, I just don't know how to do it. And I said, James, I can tell you how to fix that. And James, being the James he is, he's used to telling people, hey, I got a solution for you. And the solution always revolves around coming through him. And I said, James, I have a solution for you. You know what I mean? Well, no, I'm okay. Of course, James, you're okay because you're too prideful to ask. Sorry, James. He was too prideful to ask
for help.
And the solution was this simple, right? James, you own a house now and you own it outright. Yes. Take a line of credit out on your current house. $50,000. Take the $50,000 out, put it in another bank account, and have it make the payments. That's it. Don't touch the money. Put it in a bank account and have it make the payments. 6 to 9 months, you will be able to qualify for a mortgage like that. And most people don't believe that. I took a lines of credit out, put it in my lines of credit against an asset that I owned, and I put that in an account and let it sit there. Number one, that amount of money sitting in your account for 6 to 9 months will increase your credit rating real quick.
Yeah.
Number two, you're consistently making a payment that is being recorded, and it's always recorded on a house. Solve your entire thing. And James, that solved his problem. And sure enough, I found out later, James got a mortgage. Got another house. Bingo, it worked.
Yep. There's always ways around it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I learned now. I'm trying to get up to, like in my personal life, I think I have close to $50, maybe $60,000 in lines of credit.
And wait. What is the account number?
1122 Boogie Boogie Avenue. I have these lines of credit for a reason. Anything happens in my life, I can borrow $20,000 to $40,000 on a credit card or off of the credit lines and buy a house. And I will go buy a small 3-bedroom house and turn it into a rental property. As soon as I get a renter into it, I will then go to the mortgage company and say, hey, give me a mortgage. Because now it will qualify based on the fact that there's a renter paying the bill. It will qualify for a mortgage. I will take a mortgage, get my money back out, and pay my credit card off. I now have an asset making me $200 to $400 a month, right? Yeah, granted, it's not a lot of money, but I have something to get me going again.
Yeah,
that's what credit is to help you go. And truthfully, I see so many people get caught up into the business credit, and they're like, well, when you need credit, you can't get it. Well, yeah, it's because you haven't proven yourself worthy. Take the process to build yourself up to prove yourself worthy. And I've screwed my credit up 2 times. Bad, screwed up, right? And crawled out of it 2 times. And I learned the second time the hard way. I need to find a way to pull myself out of this.
Yeah.
You know? So I was borrowing, and that's what most people do. They use credit to buy things that depreciate. I use credit to buy things that appreciate. Like I used credit to build this business because the business is going to build, right? If the business doesn't build, I take the loss and walk away. Right?
So let's go back to that.
Yeah.
When is it that you decide it's a loss? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? When do you decide, okay, enough is enough?
Don't sit and put a timeline on that. It's looking at it and going, okay, on a month-to-month basis. If it's costing me, you know what I mean? If this month I'm making a profit and next month, all right, I'm paying $1,000 to be in business, I start watching that. All right. As it gets to be more and more, okay, now I've got to pay $5,000 a month to stay in business and help these customers. Finally, I go, okay, this business is no longer worth it. It doesn't mean I could quit. I'm looking for people who are on that edge going, well, it's not working out right now. Why? Because I want to acquire them. It's one way to build your business. As I find out that Katrina goes, I want to retire. Great. I come in and go, you know what, Katrina, I will take over your business. All right. And I will pay you this much a month. All right. Go high level. Huh? What?
But you have to know, go high level.
Just like Kartra, I can pay somebody to do that, you know. Anyway, but no, I want you to think about that. Katrina, if you decided you wanted to retire and I came up to you with an offer that not only took over your business for you, but gave you a monthly part of the money from the sales still being carried on in that business. So in other words, okay, so you're making 10 grand a month. All right. How about I buy it from you and you still make 5 grand a month? Yeah.
It's a good deal.
Yeah. You see what I mean? Yeah. You got a cash out that you can take some money, but then you got a piece of the business carrying on.
Well, and that's a good point that you make as well. When you have a business in place, and this is something I didn't used to think about. You think you're gonna. I've been in business for 16 years, and you have this business in place, and you think I'm not going to retire. This can be my business forever, and I'll hand it off to my kids or whatever. That's not the way you're looking at a business. What you look at a business is, okay, I've set this business up. And how much is it worth now? So that down the line, when I do decide to retire, I can sell it off and make some money. And as we all know, when it comes to business, the biggest money maker in a business is your list. So if I had a list of 1,000 employees or 1,000 clients, it might be worth a little bit depending on how much those clients are bringing in. But if I had a list of over 1 million people or whatever, that's going to be a big investment for somebody else to take on, because now they're going to be in front of all those people.
Yeah.
And that's the value in your business, is your list.
Well, not just that, is so many people out there, and I'm part of this new mastermind that Chaz Wilson's putting on, and he talks about that. So many people in their business, they build what's called a lifestyle business. In other words, they work, it provides them a lifestyle.
Yeah.
If they stop working, their lifestyle stops. He says, so often all of us build this personal brand business that, like, we're all like, yeah, but I'm the personal brand. I'm not going to go anywhere. Wrong. You need to be building a business on the fact that that business can carry on and service its customers, even if you passed away.
Yeah. Or you decide to retire.
Yeah. No. What that means is I now have set up a business that's going to move past me, right? And even if I hold it till the day I die, it's still it's built in that model. But when I die, the business doesn't die with me, right? So let's just say I got 100 clients. I got 100 clients and I'm taking care of 100 websites and I die. Boom. Who's going to take care of that if it's all me?
Yep.
It's gone, right? So now people if that happened to me, Katrina can very much come in and go to my heirs and say, well, listen, I can take over it for you. All right. And I'll take over it. I'll make sure everybody's taken care of. I can give you $100 a month for it for the next 5 years. And 90% of the time, the surviving family members are going to have to take a deal like that.
Yeah.
Because it was all revolved around me running the business. As opposed to you build the business and you build a team so it can keep running. And basically now, Katrina comes in to buy the business because I died. Katrina now comes in and now the family's got negotiating terms going, well, Katrina, this business makes $1 million a month. It is now, let's say a $15 million business. Katrina's got to come up with $15 million to buy the business.
Yeah.
And that's where people are missing it because they're trying to build a me business.
Yeah. Well, and part of it too is they're putting their name, their face, everything on that business. Yeah. So now if something, like you said, happens to you and you're gone, you're the name of the business. You're the face of the business.
Yeah.
So now what happens?
Yeah. So we got to, it's like, because personally, I'm not looking for, I hate to say this to you, but I'm not looking for those businesses like that. Like I just said, that they're the one man show and the people are, the guy's 60 years old and he's running websites. He's the guy I'm looking for. Why? Because I want to buy him out.
Yeah.
I want to take it over. Now, I'm not going to change and screw his customers over, but basically I'm going to take his customers. I'm going to continue servicing them, and it's going to be a division of my company until I find a way to merge them.
Yep.
And most of you think, like, well, that's cruel. You're doing that. No. Let me tell you, companies that happened to. Some of you don't know this, but it happened to Starbucks. Howard Schultz worked for Starbucks in the old way, Starbucks Plus, and he said, we really need to do this as a coffee shop. And they said, no, we're not doing that. So basically, he said, okay, fine. He eventually started his own company that did what Starbucks does today. And eventually Starbucks came up for sale because the owners were no longer there to run it. So he was able to buy and acquire that company, and Starbucks was a more popular name or a more better sounding name. So basically, he took his company and eventually dissolved it and made it blend in with Starbucks. And now we know that company as Starbucks.
And now we know there's a Starbucks on practically every corner in every city.
There's a Starbucks across the street from another Starbucks. And we won't get that sketch.
Yeah.
But anyway, in your business, if you're building a business that can transfer through generations like that, now it's looking for people like, I mean, Robert's in here. Let's just use Robert as an example. Robert starts a web design company, right? And he goes, hey, I'm going to do this. And Robert's 15 years younger than you and I. And 5 years from now, Katrina and I go, you know what? We don't want to do a website company anymore. We just want to talk on a podcast once a week, and we want to go hang out on the beach all the time. So Robert comes in and goes, well, Tim, how much is your company worth? And say, I got a $5 million company. Well, he can come in and go, okay, I'll give you $2.5 million for it, and I will pay you you still own part ownership for the rest of your life. And it transfers to your family. And he takes over everything but 10% of the company. And I get a nice little check every year because I still own 10% of the company. I don't have to do any work anymore. Brilliant. Now that's working for me. He's built his company. He's got mine. And then he notices, well, Katrina might want to sell hers too. So he goes to Katrina and says, hey, Katrina, I'll buy yours from you. Your company's worth $16 million. I'll give you $8 million for it. All right. And then I will give you this much money per month for the rest of your life because you now own 10% of it.
Yep.
That's business that we are not doing. And if we did that more often, there's a lot more people in our country who would not be starving, living paycheck to paycheck. All right. And in that world of it takes me to make this business happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like with
Carrie.
With entrepreneurs, with corporate does the same thing. When corporate sees another company that is competition and they see that they're having issues, they go in, they buy the competition. That's what happened with Linens and Things and Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah.
Linens and Things was having issues, and they were both competitors. Bed Bath & Beyond went in and said, hold on, we can buy them out, and now we can combine them all into Bed Bath & Beyond, and our competition will not exist anymore.
Yes.
And that's what they did, is they bought them out. Now, of course, the biggest thing that's happening now is Amazon is seeing that there's a lot of brick and mortar businesses that really had a hard time after COVID, and they're still having a hard time because people are buying things online. So now they have essentially gone in and said, all right, you want to liquidate things, we'll still give you a certain percentage for your company because it's the brand, like Old Navy, for instance.
Yes.
We'll sell it on our website. You still get a certain portion of whatever we sell, but we'll sell it on our website, making it easy for your clients to still get that Old Navy.
Yeah.
And now it's a win-win across the board. Granted, they don't have the brick and mortar, and there aren't people being employed with them anymore. But as we know, things change. Business change.
Well, yeah. It comes down to back what we talked about at the very beginning with Shark Tank. All right. Oh my God, you're going to give me 99% more value. All right, and you're giving me money, I'm going to be worth 10 times more. Hello. All right. That's the deals we're talking about, and that's the deals come out. But too often they're not. These individuals are not setting their companies up like that. And it goes back to what we started in the beginning. So many people who are going to coaches and not listening. They want to be, I want to be in business for myself. Great. How fast are you making your first dollar?
Yep.
Right. If you're not making money, all right, in there, and again, I see this as what part of what we talked about earlier is, and they want to blame it on the coach. It ain't the coach. It's their fault. The coach has got a great sales pitch, and they follow the great sales pitch. They buy it. All right. Not realizing that all the tools it takes to make the work, what the coach is going to offer, you don't have the money to buy the tools.
Or the time and effort to do it.
Time and effort to make it work. And what happens is you get pissed off the coach because your business is not growing. Great. You bought a champagne coach when you have a beer budget.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. And I can't count even on my hands and toes anymore how many people have come to me when they were out of money. I paid this coach this coach this coach this.
And I have no money left to pay you. But can you help me with A, B, C, and D?
And this week, I did it 6 times this week, Katrina. 6 times this week. Okay, let me give you a simple path. Go do this. I'm not going to give you and say, hey, do this and you're going to make $1 million in 90 days. No. But I'm going to help you get started with what they should have told you to begin with 5 years ago and $600,000 ago.
Yeah.
But you didn't do it because they sold you on, hey, it's quick and easy. It's not quick and easy.
And here's something that I implore upon anybody who's watching this or any other podcast as an entrepreneur. There is no easy button. There isn't. You are going to have to put the work in. You're going to have to do the effort. It's your business. You have to put the effort in. If you hire a coach and say, okay, coach, here's my business. Make it work. I'm ready. No coach is going to say, no problem. I'll take it on. Not going to happen.
I wish in my mastermind there's this guy, Joe Pardo in New Jersey, and he has this bell that goes ding, ding, ding every time something like that. I want to go ding, ding, ding with Joe's bell. You know Joe, right? You've
yes.
Joe. Yeah.
Yes.
Joe's got this bell. Ding, 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 ding. Yep. That's it. Ding, 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 ding.
There is no easy button. No. You have to put the work in. You have to put the effort in. And if you don't willing to do that, then you're not willing to be in business.
Yeah.
Because when I first started my business, I worked night and day. I worked hours upon hours putting a website together, figuring out what a lead magnet was, figuring out what marketing was, doing my social media. I did all of that by myself. But I took the time to sit down and learn how to do it. I took the time to get the systems in place and figure out what works and what doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And that's how I built my business. Not everybody's going to do that. And some people are going to hire people such as Tim and myself to help them with these things. But regardless of the fact, you still have to put the effort in and do the work.
Right. So it's my wife. All right. My wife started a retail company in the middle of the pandemic. A retail company in the middle of the pandemic. My wife is still gone from our house some days 12, 11, 13, 14 hours sometimes. Still, 2.5 years later, still. All right. See, as a COO of a company, that should tell you, number one, all right, well, gee, I want to start my own company so I can have less hours. No, when you start your own company, sometimes that means a shit ton of more work. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, all right. Many of you see me talk about my friend Jessica on here, who I remember Jessica starting out as a coach and speaker, and Jessica struggled, right? And then I remember talking to Jessica 9 months later. I was like, "How are you doing this? You got a new baby?" She goes, "Well, when I put the baby down at night, she goes, I go to work. All right, from 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. when the baby's done until 1 a.m. I'm working on how I'm getting my business out, how I'm getting my name out, how I'm doing this stuff." Now Jessica's traveling the world with her son, speaking, because she put the hours in instead of going, man, I'm tired. I put the baby down. I just want to go lay in front of the TV.
I just can't do it. And yes, there's times that you need some me time. Yeah. Get it. There are times you need to walk away and take a break and say, this is not working. I got to walk away for a few minutes so that way I come back with a fresh eye and I can figure this out. There are times you need to do that. I get that. But when you're first starting your business, you work your ass off. And once you've got those systems in place and you've put all those things in place, it makes it that much easier as you move forward. Now you know what to expect. Now you know what's working, what's not, and what you need to change or whatever the case may be, you know. And
you work your ass off until they start saying, yeah, hey, that's a sexy ass. Or they start saying, hey, by the way, how do you sit on that thing? There's nothing wrong. That's how hard you work. Again, it wouldn't be the business G-spot if I didn't bring that in.
And if you still have an ass, you haven't worked hard enough.
You still have an ass, all right. You haven't worked hard enough. Right? That is why everybody's so successful, all right? I've got so much fat in my chair from no ass.
Just saying. It all has to do with work. Are you willing to put it in? That's the question. Are you willing to work that hard?
Are you willing to work that hard? That should be our question of the day, question for the week. Are you willing to work that hard?
Willing to work that hard. Yeah. How hard are you willing to work for your business?
Yeah. So, well, we're getting up to the top of the hour. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you and your business, all right, since it's you and I who put this show on every week, and let them know how they can get in touch with you.
My name is Katrina Garcia with KG Website Designs, and we help overwhelmed entrepreneurs become more productive and make money via their website.
Yep. My name's Tim Gillette. Simple, easy websites. All right. We get you on the web and get you working. Get a website up so you can make more money. Period. Simple, easy, done.
I like the check mark.
By the way, that check mark, as most people don't know, did you know why? Eventually, someday, I was thinking about it today. I'm going to trademark that check mark, just like the Nike swoosh. Because that check mark, people know me from my blab days from that check mark.
Yep.
Simple, easy, done, baby.
Yep.
Check it. Yep.
Check it.
All right, we'll be back here next. Will we be here next week? Yeah, we'll be back here next week.
We'll be here next week.
All right, we'll be back next week with another great business G-Spot. I'm Tim.
And I'm Katrina Garcia.
All right.